morning. It is a Sunday morning, 9 a.m, and it's the bank holiday weekend. So we are just taking the kids to the park, tire Axel out for his nap. The main point of some things that I want people to realise about being a mum and also a solopreneur, like having your own online business where you are responsible for your own income, because I think there's a lot of information online that makes it look like really easy and all the rest of it, and I think even when you're using tools like human design to understand all of the answers for things, it still has its challenges, and I think that's the kind of reality that I want to bring to it. However, when I say challenges, I mean it's the kind of stuff that you're like, I would rather that over a 9 to 5. Even though this is a Sunday, this pretty much is like our everyday life if the kids aren't at school. So right, let's see you do it, Axel. Definitely a difference between your first and your second kids. Like, we wouldn't be letting Ella try this on her own. Okay, look where you're going. Keep your eyes on the prize.
Hi.
Good job. Keep going.
Come on.
You did it. Oh!
Oh. Wee. Yep.
Hi team. Okay, we are back home. We went to the park. It has been absolutely a freaking treat. What I was really talking about when we were at the park was this thing that we see online where there's a lot of messaging, especially towards mums, and that messaging is really focused around you can have an online business and work around your children, work around their nap times, their schedule, and make all this money and have all this time freedom and have everything that you want in your life, and it's going to be blah blah blah, right? Insert whatever the rest of the messaging that they use. I know you've seen that sort of stuff. I think for me, before I even had my online business, places I saw that was around network marketing. And don't get me wrong, I've tried them. You do you. That's whatever you want to do. But I feel like, as someone who wanted an online business, I saw that messaging and I was like, that is the kind of life that I want to have. I want to be around for my kids, and wow, I don't need to do a 9 to 5. When I thought about having my own business, I always wanted one. I just had no idea what it would be about. This is now, actually, this week filming is the 3rd year anniversary of being registered self-employed here in the UK, which means this is my only income. This is my sole job. So I feel like I wanted to get to this point where I was like, what are some things that I see within that messaging and what is actually true when you have an online business, but the reality actually is a little bit, because I just don't see people seeming to talk about that enough. Or if they do, they sort of cover over it and embellish it with something else that ends up sounding like the exact same messaging you see on network marketing people's pages. So the first thing for me is that you can work around your children. This is my experience first and foremost. Now, when it depends on your kids' ages, right? If you have a newborn who sleeps a little bit more so than older children, this also depends. Does your child love contact naps? There's so many nuances with kids and the messaging that you see online. I digress. I do not want to work around my children. I do not want to do the thing whilst my kids are there because apparently it's so easy. I don't want that. I'm not fully present on either one of those tasks if I'm trying to do it around the kids. What I will say is that childcare has been my best friend. The minute that I was able and felt comfortable at a point of okay, Axel, we're going to put you into childcare, Ella's at school full time, so mummy has some dedicated hours in the week to actually focus on work, that is when I started to do so. With Ella, because I had no choice and I had a 9 to 5 to go back to, and the circumstances was a lot different, Ella went back around the 6-7 month mark, and for me that was heartbreaking because I just felt like it was far too soon. Whereas with Axel, he started transitioning, going to childcare 2 days per week when he was about 13-14 months old. So it was very, very different scenarios. We were able to do things a little bit differently when he was born, and in the lead up to that, I was making a lot of shifts and changes in what I was offering within my business and how I was doing that, so that when he was born, I was able to then have that time rather than oh, it's fine, I'll work around my kids. No, just no. So if you see messaging out there that's you can have your business and work around your kids, yeah, there's certain avenues of doing this. If you're doing something that's a passive income source, you're selling digital products or whatever, yeah, sure. However, you still need to factor in you are going to need time to create those things. I genuinely believe that you need the completely like distraction free time in order to do that. Whether it is 1 day a week, 2 days a week, or whatever, just please give yourself the space. Stop trying to be like, I should be able to juggle the kids and work, because who said you should be? The second thing is, in my experience of having my business, right, you go from being around people in an office setting to then being at home, and the people that you're having conversations with are like, yeah, your clients, but the main people that you're chatting to are your tiny humans. You really need a little bit of like a routine in the sense of getting away from that and out of the house, getting away from all of that, because like I touched on a little bit in the first part, when you have your online business and you're working from home, you are just in your everyday environment. You eat, you sleep. It's like being in lockdown again. Honest to God, you're just always in the same four walls, effectively. So for me, getting out of that, so having the childcare meant that I could then go to Starbucks and do some work there. Like, that environment suits me to a T. I really, really enjoy it. I feel really inspired by it. I don't know if it's just because there's people around me who are all kind of in the same zone, even though you don't talk to them. It's just really helpful to see other people in that situation. Like, you kind of hear the buzz of their conversations a little bit. It's just nice being in a different environment. I also like going to like my library for this, and the Village Hotel group, they do like a co-working space, which I've tried, and that was really good, and you get free snacks and tea and coffee and stuff, which I think is brilliant. In terms of like finding your routine out of the house, get that new fresh inspiration thing. You will be able to have different ideas when you're not constantly surrounded by the laundry pile. Let me just show you this. Boom! Washing that needs to get put away. Escape that. Escape the household grind and have a routine in your week where you go child free and you go and work from a different place. If you're out there being like, I have emails to send and nothing's coming to me, yeah, because you've probably been looking at your same four walls for far too long. Another thing that comes up for me, right, is like this idea that if you do something that you love, you will never work a day in your life again. Wrong. You will work more so than you ever have done, because when you do something that you love, you are so passionate by it. I said to people on Threads recently, what are people doing that's not business related these days? I feel so out of the loop. And someone replied and they were like, there's things that aren't related to your business. And I was like, I know, who knew? You're so wrapped up in that actually it's still fun for me to talk about, you know, personal branding and human design and all that stuff. Like, I'm still massively obsessed with it. I'm just filming my video for YouTube. What was I talking about? I've got all these 12 hours a week, right? Child uninterrupted time, because I am so into my work, and I feel like the creative process is like the best part for me. That actually I sit with my laptop on a lot of evenings, like maybe for an hour and a half. Here, actually, this is what I do, because I only have that child free time during the week, that 12 hours. Sometimes, most of the time, I don't want to spend all 12 of those hours dedicated to work, because that, again, that's the only child free time I have. I want some time for me. So I'll open my laptop on an evening for about an hour and a half, sometimes a little bit longer, I'm not going to lie. And I am enjoying it, but I will do the things that I might have been planned in to do on the daytime, because then I'm like, okay, I can claim back 2 hours there and then actually spend that in a bubble bath or read a book or pop to the shops, or do you know what I mean? Like, just sit in silence and enjoy the silence. So there's that aspect to it as well, but you are working more. Like, you're definitely working more. If I had a 9 to 5, would I need to do something on an evening? No, because I would just go in during the daytime, I'd do my work and whatever, but I wouldn't be enjoying that. And it's just, I think that's the difference. You might be doing something that you love, but you will at some point be dedicating more time to it, and you've got more of an emotional investment in these things. So you will find that you are more tempted to just pick up the laptop or film another piece of content. My brain never switches off thinking about my business. I go to bed thinking about it, I wake up thinking about it. And it's not in terms of like a doom overthinking spiral. It's just I've always got some fresh new ideas and inspiration coming to me, and I have to note them down. Do something that you love and you'll never work a day in your life again. I definitely am aware of the fact that I'm always working. Something else that kind of ties in with this quite nicely, actually, is the fact that I think about applying for a 9 to 5 once a month, and it's always the week before my menstrual cycle. I always get it. My brain just goes to this point of like, what's the point? This is just shit. It's not even true, But the thoughts and the feelings that I get during that week, honestly, I find myself on LinkedIn, on Indeed, just having a look. And as soon as that week's over, I'm just close that tab. Like, what was I even doing? What was I thinking? Like, I love this. It's just a natural part of it. I think there's a difference between that though, and that one hormonal week of the month versus you feeling like every week I just want to burn it down. This isn't working. Should I just get a 9 to 5? There's a difference between that, because I think if you're thinking about it that often, there's things in your business that just aren't working for you. For example, like when I pivoted my business and I changed everything around, I was really conscious of the fact that I was very, very booked up with like one-to-one calls, because that was like my biggest service. And for the longest time, and I'm still working through that, to be honest, but I was like, I can charge more if I do one-to-one calls, and that money that I can charge is more like efficient and beneficial for me and my family financially. And so I think for me, shifting that mindset, I chose to do this. I'm registered self-employed. Who's saying that I need to be doing one-to-one calls all the time? Like, can I not do something differently? I now have like my membership where I have all of my programs in and all of the resources for people. And then I also sell different little bundles and things apart from that. If people aren't ready to commit to like a membership, they can just buy something, try it, and then, you know, maybe join in the membership. It's easier for me now, and I don't think about burning it down. And I know things are working because I know who I'm speaking to. I know what my message is. I know all of these things because my human design has literally pinpointed that for me. And I've got my method now of going through those things and really making it make sense. So yeah, I think that's the difference between that. But it's very natural as an entrepreneur to think, should I just get a 9 to 5? There's challenges of both things, but a 9 to 5, in my opinion, is just something that I just cannot go back to. I tried it for 2 weeks last September, and it lasted 2 weeks. It wasn't a 2-week job, it was a permanent role. I lasted 14 days before I quit. Those are some things that I wanted to share with you that's really helped me. And I would love to know if there's anything else that you feel like in your own journey that you're struggling with, or you feel like is overwhelming you, or even if you've just been like, got a couple of little bits of wisdom like you, Maria, I would love to share it. Pop them in the comments. I honestly feel like if I had seen content like this, maybe I would have felt a lot less shitty about myself and compared things at the very start of my journey. If you haven't already, hit the like and the subscribe button. I would love to have you as part of the family. I think this month alone we've had over 40 new subscribers, which has been the first month that I've really been focusing on it. We're now at 73. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye.